Hey guys, and welcome back to LostWinds. Our objective now is just to head on over to Wither Falls, so if Enril will ever shut up, we'll get on with this mission.
Yes, I mean, we have a little bit of fourth wall breaking by press the minus button. I don't think Toku's exactly going to know where that is, but it's entirely for our benefit.
The minus button is in your heart, Toku. These globs, I'm sorry, they're pathetic.
Yeah, they really, really are. You do get some more terrifying enemies later on that can actually do damage.
Really, Richie? Terrifying?
Oh yes, I mean, there's one in particular that I am going to get hit by in this particular playthrough.
Oh no.
Well, it's a walkthrough, because 100%.
Okay, Richie, you're giving us a little bit too much credit here, I think.
But, yeah, there's one enemy which does a whole lot of damage, and you do not want to get caught by it. Things like the globs, and the enemies that we're going to come across shortly, which are kind of covered in leaves, and there's also a sort of rock globe. They're not that bad, you just kind of have to deal with them, but that particular enemy, yes, it's not pleasant.
I remember the bird globe, or whatever it's called, giving me a bit of chip. The rock ones, definitely if you don't know what you're doing, but the regular blobby ones, no. And I have to say, they kind of remind me, I don't know whether this is just me, and this also applies to the little fairy things you're picking up, like stuff out of Rayman.
Yes, actually. I don't know whether that was intentional at all. I doubt it. If only because they seem to have a very good idea of what they want to make this unique.
Yeah. To clarify, I'm talking about like Rayman Origins and Legends, not the PS1 game or the N64 titles.
Well, maybe. The developers of Rayman Origins experienced LostWinds and kind of copied the ideas from there. I don't know whether they would have done at all, because, I mean, why would anybody look at a small WiiWare title? But the thing is that LostWinds actually was very, very popular, because it was one of the best-selling WiiWare titles, and I think still remains probably one of the most popular ever to be released on the system.
Well, as we mentioned, it's charming, it's short, so people of all skill levels can manage to complete it with a little bit of gumption and effort, and, well, again, it's charming.
Oh yes, and I mean, what's even better is that they did go on to re-release LostWinds and LostWinds Winter of the Melodias onto iOS, so more people got to experience it, because obviously WiiWare went down, so...
Yeah, thanks for that, Nintendo. That's really following a concept through, you know?
Well, digital gaming is where we're going, unfortunately.
What are you doing to Toku, mate?
Desperately trying to get this boulder onto this platform, well, this Switch, but it's it's easier said than done when you only have Gust available, because you've just got to whack it, and there's only so much you can do with that.
I remember us recording this, I was like, no, too erratic, calm down.
The thing is that when you're playing this, really, you're just kind of having fun, and it is a hell of a lot easier said than done sometimes to get the things to do what you want them to do. Because, I mean, you're playing with the wind, so you've got to roll with it.
I've been meaning to ask, what are those, like, little wisp things next to Toku's health meter?
So what they do is they act as sort of lives. So if you lose all of your heart, then you will get another one.
Okay.
But, I mean, the thing is, you're not exactly likely to die.
I don't recall ever getting a game over. I certainly remember at least losing all of my heart, which you can't upgrade, sadly.
Yes, I mean, I certainly have had that happen before as well, but if you're playing well enough, for starters, you will very, very, very quickly build up those wisp things, which are shaped like Enril, who you can see as the cursor here. And once you've done that, it's really not a bother.
Oh, another one of these shrines. I don't think we mentioned what these were in the first part. Can you tell our lovely audience what they do?
So they are shrines. Basically, they just unlock a new power. So, very simple.
Very Metroid-like, if you will.
Yeah, so we got Gust, we got a more powerful version of Gust, and now I believe we get Slipstream.
Oh yeah, this one's good.
This one is incredibly helpful. So the difficulty that I was having with moving the boulders is now alleviated somewhat by Slipstream, because that means that you can guide things a lot easier, which is very, very, very helpful.
You could just be like, boulder, go here, boom, problem done.
Yes, whereas with Gust it's kind of just like, you've got to try and push it in the direction, but obviously you've got to push it up, and if you push it up then it's potentially going to fly over the switch.
And again, like Metroid, you get a new power-up, and it gives you an area in which to try out that power-up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really well-constructed game, and the thing is that what they wanted people to do is explore. Like, they don't like telling people, this is how to play the game. So, I mean, there's a bit in this Kotaku interview where Burgess, who's one of the designers, says that they were very conscious because they don't like being led by the hand, because it's better to let the player learn about how to do something through experience rather than being told, this is how you're meant to do it.
Well, you're certainly learning from experience here, mate.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, the stalker comments I made when we were recording this.
Yes, you're just like, draw straight, and I'm just like...
I don't sound like that. I'm much more obnoxious, thank you very much.
It's just like, I'm trying, but this is a Wiimote here. This does not draw straights really well.
I can't do it, Tom. The finish is in No More Heroes. It's not perfect.
But yes, basically the slipstream is the only way that you're getting out of this room, so you certainly have to at least master it to get anywhere from here.
I guess that's more like Zelda than Metroid, or maybe it's a mixture of both, because, as we all know by now, in Zelda, you get an item in a dungeon, unless you're playing a Link Between Worlds, in which case you probably rented all your items, and then the room locks, you have to perform a simple puzzle using that item you just got, and bada bing, bada boom, the door opens, and you are on your way to freedom.
I guess in a way, what they are doing is kind of combining all of that. So you've got the exploration sensibilities of Metroid with the tutorial-esque gameplay teaching methods of Zelda. So they don't tell you how to do stuff, but they kind of try to make it obvious to you, so that you can do it by experience.
This is a good example. I actually just started playing Shovel Knight, and in the very first level, I'm not sure, I might have spaced out and missed this, but it does not tell you how to do a bounce jump, which I believe you just have to hold down when you're jumping. And if you don't do that, and you try and jump on a bubble, it will pop, and you will most likely fall into a bottomless pit, so you're learning, it's trial by fire, as it were.
Yeah, I mean, the original Super Mario Bros. Is kind of a common example that people use of teaching by experience. So, you run forward, the first thing you see, I think, is a Goomba, so you automatically think, well, I've got to avoid it, so you jump. And either you get hit by it and die, or you jump on it and you kill it, so you think, I can kill enemies. You get the boxes, and then you do that.
Wait a minute, I can't walk to the left, so I'll walk to the right. Fucking genius!
Yes, I mean, I would also say that the Wonderful 101's prologue is also a pretty decent example of trial by experience. It's not the best thing in the world because there is a very key gameplay mechanic that is hidden in the market, which you can't get immediately, and which the game never tells you really, really, really need to get this to do well. But the rest of the prologue is pretty well constructed to do that sort of, you've got to figure out what you want to do.
Just want to say, and I'm not trying to appeal to like every crowd when I say this, more to common sense really, but if a game can teach you simply with, you know, like set pieces and such, and there's no tutorials whatsoever, that's fine, and that should be applauded. But if a game is so complex that it needs tutorials, I don't think that's worthy of derision either, because there are so many types of games, and it's kind of stupid, or at least ignorant, to expect every game to play like, oh, I don't know, Mega Man X.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the thing is that, I mean, there are certain tutorials where they go way, way, way overboard. I would say Skyward Sword is a prime example of being too long for a tutorial.
If I might interject, I'll cut Skyward Sword some odd slack for a change, and say I think just due to the tone and like the dull like colour palette of the village, Twilight Princess did that worse.
Well, yes, I mean, the thing is what I was going to go and say is that despite the fact that it's perhaps overly long in Skyward Sword, because it's teaching a very, very new gameplay mechanic,
oh yeah,
it's worth the fact that it gives you the time to learn. and doesn't really stress you out with that learning process. So the length is, in a way, justified.
Yeah, well, obviously you have to learn the whole new sword mechanic, but in Twilight Princess, it's like very rudimentary, like sword controls. You swing, you just aim with the pointer, most of which you've probably already been doing, because I think while Twilight Princess was a launch title, at least here in the UK, we got stuff like Wii Sports, like packed in with the Wii, so we already had a tutorial on hand.
Yeah, so I would say that, like, Twilight Princess is probably a very poor example of a good tutorial, because it's too long, and the gameplay mechanics are pretty simple for the most part.
Still kind of baffles me that Yanks didn't get Wii Sports with their, Wii packages, but I'm just quibbling details here. What's going on in the story now, mate?
So we've got the new power, but nothing really else has happened, and so we need to go and try and find Notea. Now, I'm actually going to skip a step, because I know where we need to go, because obviously the guide, and because I'd played the game like a few days before we recorded this, or maybe a week or so.
Yeah, and then I said it's not good enough, you're standing around looking at a guide, do it again, 6 out of 10 IGN.
Yes, so I skip a step that really I should do, but the thing is that if you're playing the game normally, your brain will go, so I need to go back and see Notea, because the game does say that. So you would go back to where Notea was. There is a guy there, I think it's the guy who owns the herb shop, actually, and he will say where Notea has gone to, so then you've got to go and find him. So it's a nice, easy, simple way of guiding the player without saying, you have to go here.
So, Richie, how many people's skirt or tunics did you blow up?
Well, I'm pretty sure I did everyone at least once.
Okay.
'Cause it's too fun.
It's just like, oh no, good-natured dismay in my very charming little game.
Okay, it's not the herb guy, damn it. Still, there's someone up there who will tell you where Notea is.
You have ruined this playthrough, Richie, do it again! We're going to do a live playthrough now, it's going to be like friggin' Splatoon.
Oh god.
That should be ongoing at the time this goes up.
Yeah, I'm so excited, I can't wait to see it.
Thank you, you passive-aggressive asshole. Oh, Richie, I love you and your academia. Slipstream away! This is so fun.
I know. I mean, the thing is that you get even better when you get an item later on, but part's ending, so we kind of need to move on.
Okay, goodbye!